On this Earth, there are millions of species besides us. Some of them even look very similar to us: apes, orangutans, monkeys, and others. In the past, there were also humans just like us. Neanderthals, Denisovans, Homo floresiensis, and many more. But why is it that only one species developed deep consciousness and complex thinking? Not only that, we created nations, laws, politics, powerful social structures, and even religions. And that species is us. Homo sapiens. So who are we, really? Why did only we survive? What happened to the other Homo species? Let's explore the answers in this video. Long ago, in Africa, around 6 million years ago, there was a population of ancient apes. Due to climate change in Africa, when forests slowly turned into savannas, this population split into two evolutionary paths. One path became the ancestors of chimpanzees. The other became the ancestors of the genus Homo. At that time, the early Homo species were not very different from chimpanzees, baboons, elephants, or other animals. Fast forward to about 2 million years ago. Some male and female members of the genus Homo left their homeland and began migrating through North Africa, Europe, and Asia. Because each region had different climates, ecosystems, flora, and fauna, different Homo species evolved. In Europe and Western Asia, Homo neanderthalensis evolved. In Asia, Homo erectus. On the island of Java, in what is now Indonesia, lived Homo soloensis. And those who remained in Africa eventually became Homo sapiens. Jump ahead to around 100,000 years ago. By this time, Homo sapiens already looked like modern humans, both physically and neurologically. But surprisingly, our ancestors had no remarkable achievements yet. They didn't create advanced tools. They didn't make sophisticated clothing. They didn't invent complex recipes or technologies. When sapiens first migrated north into the Middle East, territory dominated by Neanderthals, they actually failed to dominate the region. But a few thousand years later, history changed. Let's jump again, to around 70,000 years ago. At this point, sapiens seemed to gain an extraordinary power, almost as if gifted by the gods. They left Africa for the second time. This time, they defeated the Neanderthals and took control of the Middle East. And it wasn't only Neanderthals. Other species that encountered sapiens soon went extinct. Our ancestors crossed oceans and reached continents never before touched by humans. They began creating more advanced tools: spears, bows and arrows, boats, oil lamps, needles, and more. They also became responsible for the extinction of nearly half of Earth's animal kingdom. It didn't matter whether the animals were bigger, stronger, or more aggressive. Sapiens still won. Scientists believe these extraordinary changes were caused by something called the cognitive revolution. But what caused it? Why did only sapiens experience it? If it was merely about adaptation or survival, then why didn't it happen to other species? Between 150,000 and 260,000 species have gone extinct on Earth, but none of them experienced a cognitive revolution. Maybe it was because sapiens had larger brains. But if that were true, why didn't Neanderthals experience it? In fact, Neanderthal brains were larger than ours. The cognitive revolution almost feels like magic, something from another world, exclusive only to sapiens. Because of this ability, we developed extremely flexible language. We could create things that don't physically exist: creation myths, gods, legends, demons, and spirits. Yuval Noah Harari calls this collective imagination. With this power, early sapiens rose to the top of the food chain. They built strong social structures, cooperated in massive numbers, and worked together without natural limits. Yet we still don't know why we received this ability. Why us, and not other species? There are several theories. The first is the genetic mutation theory. This theory suggests that small genetic mutations increased neural plasticity, strengthened brain connections, and allowed the brain to link different types of information together. But if this were true, Neanderthals and other Homo species should have experienced the same mutations, not just sapiens. The second theory is pure luck. This theory argues that the cognitive revolution happened simply because sapiens were incredibly lucky. However, many scientists find this explanation unsatisfying. Is it really possible that we were that lucky? The third is the gossip theory. This theory states that human brains evolved not because of tools or hunting, but because of social complexity. As groups grew larger, relationships became more complex. It became crucial to read intentions. Is this person good or bad? Friend or enemy? Who can be trusted? The sapiens' brain evolved to handle these challenges. But if that's the case, why didn't chimpanzees or bonobos evolve the same way? They also have complex social structures, yet they never created myths, art, flexible language, or science. The fourth theory is cognitive fluidity theory, proposed by Stephen Mithun. According to this theory, sapiens were already intelligent before the cognitive revolution, but their intelligence was compartmentalized. There were separate mental modules, a tool-making module, a social module, a nature module, and so on. The cognitive revolution, according to this theory, wasn't about gaining new abilities, but about connecting them. After the revolution, the barriers between these modules collapsed, allowing sapiens to combine ideas and create entirely new concepts. But if that's true, why did sapiens initially lose when they first encountered Neanderthals? The evidence is also limited, and the theory doesn't clearly explain why these mental barriers suddenly disappeared. In the end, the truth is, we still don't know why only we experienced the cognitive revolution. All of these theories remain uncertain and heavily debated. We truly don't know what happened in the world that gave us such immense power. Whether this power is a blessing or a curse remains unclear. Because with the cognitive revolution, sapiens became incredibly brutal, driving many species to extinction, wiping out other Homo species, and even killing fellow sapiens over differences in beliefs and imagined stories. Yet the cognitive revolution also brought positive impacts. It allowed us to develop environmental awareness, understand scientific principles to protect nature, and create technologies for conservation. So maybe the real question isn't, why only us? But rather, should this have happened at all? If you have an answer, I want to hear it.